Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing KontrolFreeks and the key reason why so many pro players use them for competitive console gaming. This video is a bit of a different review because most review videos are you buy the product, unbox it, talk about it and test it and then give your review on it. But this video is more based around I've used KontrolFreeks for 3 years. This is what their purpose is and this is how it can help you. Now I'm going to be making a video on how to get better aim on Fortnite, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that video. But this video is revolved around KontrolFreeks themselves, which is what I believe is the first step to better aim. And I also stream regularly on YouTube, so hit that notification bell if you do want to catch my streams. Alright, let's jump into the KontrolFreek thumbstick review. Okay, so to start off, I first want to let you know my experience with KontrolFreeks. I first found out about KontrolFreeks back when I started playing Battlefield 4 on the PS4 back in 2016. And this is when I started to get into gaming a bit more and heard from certain YouTubers about KontrolFreeks, but they weren't really mainstream. As soon as I watched a video on what they do and the science behind it all, I instantly bought a pair for $14.99 with $5 shipping. So all up, it was $20 shipped from the US, which is super cheap. And when it arrived, as soon as I put one on, I instantly fell in love with how much lighter the analog stick felt and how much more accurate I became. I didn't start reaping the benefits instantly, but after a solid week of gaming, I got used to it. My accuracy was deadly, and when I moved to Battlefield 1, I ended up being the 5th best player in Australia for some time. Obviously I was a good gamer to begin with, but KontrolFreeks helped me more than I would have thought with precise movements, especially back then when they weren't that popular, as you could only buy them online. So now what actually are KontrolFreeks? Basically they're just regular sized thumbsticks that clip onto your analog sticks to give you an extended analog stick. But why would you want an extended analog stick? This is where I wish I could say that they look cool or that they're comfortable, and even though they do look cool and are comfortable, sadly that's not the reason. The reason is just science. This isn't one of those products that YouTubers just chuck on their controller and drop affiliate links in descriptions so they can make bank off kids that want cool controller add-ons. This is a product that works, and it works because of science and numbers. So let's get into that. On KontrolFreeks' YouTube channel, they briefly touch on why you should use KontrolFreeks, stating that you get 47% more arc distance from full lock to full lock. What this means is that imagine you have a lever that is 1 centimeter high, and you can rotate that lever 30 degrees to the right. It moves 0.51 centimeters to the right, giving you a range of motion of 0.51 centimeters. But if you double that lever to 2 centimeters, when you rotate it 30 degrees to the right, all of a sudden you now have a 1.03 centimeter range of motion, meaning you've doubled your range of motion by adding extra length to the lever. This meaning the bigger the lever, the more precise you can be, because the more room you have to fine tune. Same thing applies to KontrolFreeks. If you add extra length to your analog stick, you'll be able to be more precise when aiming because you have more range of motion to work with. Another thing stated in KontrolFreeks' video is that you need 32% less force to actually move the analog stick, resulting in longer and more comfortable playtime. To go further in depth with this, basically the taller something is, the easier it is to move. If I try and shake my analog stick without my KontrolFreek, as you can see, with a decent amount of force, it's not wobbling that much. Whereas if I try my analog stick with my KontrolFreek, the exact same amount of force manages to move it a lot easier, 32% easier according to KontrolFreek. This side, barely moving the analog stick off the dead zone. This side, a lot more movement. What this is good for is when you get used to it, you can get a lot more precise movements, which helps with sniper shots and tracking enemies. Because you can do those finer movements, after a lot of practice, you'll be able to make your building look way less choppy than what it might be at the moment. There's nothing wrong with choppy movements, but it looks like you're a bot compared to someone with a super smooth and consistent movement when playing. Now that I've covered the science and numbers behind why you should buy KontrolFreeks, I'm also going to touch on the other reasons why you may also want to buy a pair. KontrolFreek have grip options, so whether you prefer concave or convex sticks, they have a variety of styles to choose from. Me personally, I like concave just because my thumb can sit in the middle and I can push in every direction without having to reset or move position. This is obviously preference, but if I were to recommend KontrolFreeks to you, it would be your choice out of the Infernos, the Ultras, or the Classics. They are all the same height and they are almost identical. The only difference is the colors, and the Inferno has a different type of grip. I personally use the Classics, but I bought mine 3 years ago, like I said, and to say a $20 product is so beneficial and lasts that long is actually insane. The best thing about Control Freaks is you only have to use one at a time. Obviously you don't need the one on the left stick because that's solely for player movement, so you can literally use one and when it wears down just swap to the other. I didn't have to swap mine for 2 years, and even then I didn't even need to swap it. I just thought my little grip dots had worn down a bit. I'm not sure how they make products now, but I'm assuming it's made out of the same material, which means if you're buying something for $20 that will benefit you for years of gaming, I'd say that's the best value for money I've ever heard of. Now that pretty much covers this video on Control Freaks. I hope you learned something. If you got any questions, let me know. I reply to all my comments within about the first 2 days of uploading. I'm just gonna end the video with some gameplay. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Baby, I don't feel great, 'cause every time I hear your name, tears me up inside, I'm breaking down. And all those things you used to say, you leave me on a certain day. Every other time it's living hell. You got your mind, I'm messed up, feeling low, playing rough, always to remind me that you're near. I'm looking up for guidance, could summon up this violence, I just keep on praying.